Is. So, this is Jackman Oaks. I'm Brian Hines. This is the unofficial fan zone.
The most unofficial fan zone.
And this wasn't planned. This wasn't Jackman trying to get out of eating the spicy quesadillas.
In fact, if you stay paying attention to this stream, you will see the quesadillas that we had prepared for the spicy quesadilla challenge. But they do not have the spices added. We're just going to kind of eat them because we don't want the food to go to waste. The spicy quesadilla challenge is still on for next Wednesday on Fan Zone Live. That is my promise to you guys.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, I know that this was such short notice, but while we are doing this, I'm going to use my unofficial phone to let everybody on Facebook and Instagram. I'm still pretty much a 20th century schizoid man. I think I can figure out how to do all this. To let people know that yes, we are still going to attempt to do the show.
There's going to be something.
Explain why we are not in our regular spot on OVW TV.
Explain it the best we can because we really don't know.
No. There's a whole lot of technical wizardry that didn't wizard the way we wanted it to tonight.
And Malachi's good. He can't fix everything.
No. This was a much larger problem than we first anticipated. Are we sure of the state of affairs right now?
So here's we'll peel the curtain back a little bit. Not only could we not do Fan Zone Live tonight because of technical issues, there's a really good shot that our podcast that we recorded this evening is no longer with us as well. That's okay because there will be new audio in both the YouTube and the podcast feeds tomorrow morning. That's our interview with Anthony Toatelli. Thank God that the or whoever you believe in,
yes,
or don't, that the audio and video from the Anthony Toatelli podcast exists because that's a great little sit down that we had with him. Really want to take this moment again, appreciate how great of an interview that was with him. And our first Zoom interview, I'm starting to wonder if we didn't just, kind of screw the pooch by doing the Zoom interview.
So we did get a fantastic Zoom interview with Anthony Toatelli. Anthony, thank you so much for your time. It was wonderful to talk to you. It was only by technical means, but we hope to have you here in person.
Yes.
And it was a experience, and we're looking forward to seeing more of you around the office. So cheers to that.
So cheers to you, sir.
Yeah.
This is the very, very unofficial show.
Yeah, this is about as unofficial as it's going to get.
And we it's half a beer, guys.
Yeah, we're wow. There's like 15 people watching us.
Oh, that's more than we deserved.
No fooling. So
hey, chat.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, so we're pulling this together, set of our posteriors, and I have my computer set up to kind of monitor the situation, and I'm not sure.
I mean, we're getting tired. There we are. Look at that, baby. There we are.
We're actually pulling this together.
All
right.
So I guess we can't really do Fan Zone Live without, being on OVW TV. Can't do it without Tony and Malachi. But this is kind of how we wanted to. We were gonna be here either way. Wanted to make sure that you guys knew that we're alive. It's just the board isn't.
No, it appears as though the boast.
But we should be back rolling before no time. I guess in the meantime, on this Wednesday evening, chat, if you're there, let us know what you guys are thinking. Let us know if there's anything that you guys want to know about. Do you have any questions about?
This is a great opportunity to open up and just do anything and everything. Unfortunately, our podcast for this week that we recorded earlier and was supposed to in about 25 minutes at 8 o'clock did not make it. We are unable to retrieve that audio, retrieve that video. So we are going to have to improvise because the show must go on.
So it's not gonna probably be a full kind of episode, but I do think that we have our script from this past week.
And we just talked about all this stuff, so it shouldn't be too far Okay, this is the fan
Yeah,
zone.
where's the actual?
I believe that.
I can go grab it.
Okay.
I can go grab it.
I will.
You keep your pretty face.
I will. I will keep things rolling as best I can while we recover the notes that we had from the podcast that we just did, and
Well, brother, do you hear copy?
they were on my clipboard, and now they are not. I would look in.
OVWP 83. I got them.
Okay, cool. We have our podcast notes, and we have 7 people watching us. There's people in the chat. Love Uggs and Cat says hi. Somebody asked, do I believe in astrology? Yes, I do, as a matter of fact, but no wagering. Let's see, I'm Squatch. We should collaborate. Yeah, sure. I've got some swampland out in Arizona that I'd love to interest you in. OVW Fan Zone Jason, thank you.
No, thank you, Jason.
Seriously.
This is I'll say it here on our own thing. We're doing our own show. Jason, one of the best cats on the face of the planet. If you're a fan at all or a fan of like our show or the OVW Fan Zone on Facebook, a lot of that momentum is Jason. So
Yes.
he has been our ace since day one.
Not an ace hole.
No, not like
No.
not like Jay De Niro.
No,
Just
absolutely not.
He's been our number one since day one, and we love you, Jason.
Yeah, very much so. Thank you so much for everything.
All right, let's jump into it. Hines, can you please tell us some tour updates?
I would be delighted. Let's see, every Thursday you can catch OVW Rise at Hot Point Davis Arena at 6:30 p.m. OVW Tough Love also at Hot Point Davis Arena. That is on February 8th. That is not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday following. OVW at Appalachian Wireless Arena is Appalachian Armageddon in Pikeville, Kentucky, as part of the legendary Hillbilly Days Festival, April 25th, 2025. You can get tickets. Oh, wait, hold on. There is the Cincinnati show on June 28th.
That is
At
June 28th at Element Eatery in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's
Yes.
a free all ages show.
That is a fantastic excuse to get out and have some delicious food, and also catch your favorite OVW superstars.
In Cincinnati, great little town, fantastic. Some of the best drinking in the world in Cincinnati.
And there's tons
Some of the best food in the
Up
world.
with me before the show. I know where they keep all the cool stuff in Cincinnati.
What's the name of that big record store you got over there in Cincinnati?
Everybody's Records.
Shake it. Yeah,
Shake
that's
It's
I haven't
good.
been
Phil.
to everybody's. Phil's I've been to.
I've been to.
Phil's I got a German copy of Night of the Living Dead Boys, the Dead Boys live album
Wow.
at Phil's for
Okay.
$8 a day. It was like a $25 record at the time I found it.
Hey, Ito Kazako.
Ito, what's up?
Thank
Malachi's
you.
not here.
See ya. Sorry, Malachi is not here, but we are, and we appreciate the fact that you are too. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Life comes at you fast. Sometimes you get a fast.
Very fast.
Sometimes you get a curveball. Tonight was definitely a curveball, and it's out of our hands, but we're still gonna push on. Let's.
WWE Fan Guy 29, right? What was I might have told you this last week. Tiny Brian could not. It's WWE Fan Guy 26.
Yes.
He called him every other number other than 26.
Oh, jeez Louise.
And
Anyway.
Ryan's a friend of mine too, so.
Yeah, we appreciate you sticking with us. This is unofficial because our official equipment,
It ain't official.
no. So, are we going to try to do an abridged version of the podcast?
I think we shall. And just I'm gonna go into the other room
Okay.
just for some proof of concept before we get into this.
Usually I'm the one that does all the cooking, but we got everything set up for the quesadilla segment as promised last week, and things were ready to go, and other things weren't ready to go, but the thing that was ready to go is the food. So if you would like to sit down and grab a tasty snack, whatever your favorite go-to snack is when you have friends over, we'll get this party started.
I turned your heater off, by the way.
Fantastic. All right. We don't want to dry out the ingredients or let them cook too long, as I have a habit of doing. Our first match night features the newly dubbed Sophia Love. We all know her. We all love her as Sophia Rose, but she has received the blessing of
Dude love.
say love of Deuteronomy,
Yeah, the duder himself.
Deuter himself.
Yeah, so just for frame of reference, guys, here are quesadillas,
Yes.
and here is the eye patch. We were fully prepared to do Fan Zone Live this week.
I even went to Latin Market across the street from my house.
Yeah,
and
he even
did
found a new place to shop.
I did. This place is great. What's the name of it?
Norteños.
Norteñas. And fine establishment, great meat counter, tons of great products. But went out and did a video call with him to get the hot sauces that he wanted. I asked the man behind the counter in the meat section if I told him what we were doing, and he says, "Oh, hold on." And he hands me 2 handmade salsas. And the only thing he really says is, "Be." I said, "Buddy, I didn't sign up for this. I'm just here to watch the pain."
Yeah, just watch me make a fool out of myself.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to that. But we still have that to look forward to.
Oh, that's not
We'll
going
look forward
anywhere.
to it next week.
That's not going anywhere.
So-
you want part of this?
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna take it. There you go.
You know what? I'll use the old clipboard
Oh,
as a impromptu plate.
So we're talking about Sophia Rose and
The Marionette Noel.
the marionette. That's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the puppets with the strings
strings.
at the top.
Uh-huh.
Incredible showing from her. I've said this before. I said it most recently about Miss Larkin, especially on the women's division. I feel like it can be really find stars that are as fully formed characters as both Miss Larkin and now Noel, the marionette Noel are.
Yes.
I think it's pretty obvious that she probably. How many qualifiers can I put in a sentence? I think it's pretty obvious that she probably did a little bit of dancing, train dancing. Just her body manipulation, her joint control, stuff like that was much more reminiscent of someone that had ballet or dance than maybe someone that had just like athletic background. Not that dancing or ballet is not athletic, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's quite athletic.
Just there's something very so specific about her the way she was able to control her body that made me think she did dance lessons at some point in her career.
Yeah.
Sophia Rose though is on a tear. And it doesn't matter how creepy you are, how much of a weirdo you are, how fully formed that character is, or how many times you wrestled at Rocky Mountain Championship Wrestling or whatever it was called. Sophia Rose is on for an OVW right now.
It's the year of the rose.
It's the year of the rose. It's the year of love. And unfortunately, Noelle is kind of the most recent lamb to the slaughter in what is going to culminate in, my words, Sophia Rose being women's champion this year. Probably, no, definitely sooner rather than later.
I couldn't agree more. Excuse me.
How was it?
Very good. Very tasteful.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, this is going to be a mess of a show tonight, guys. It's been a mess of a day.
Are you kidding? It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, it already is.
So, as we expected, Sophia Love takes the victory in her very first match.
Yep.
Let's
Her first match against
the Marionette Noel.
Noel's first match.
Yes,
in OVW.
and Noel's first match. To OVW, by the way. Cheers.
Yep. Cheers. Thanks for coming.
Let's see. Our the next segment that we see is a backstage segment with Dude Love and Ryan Von Rocket, and I laughed so hard at this. I just thought it was hilarious.
The two of them together, the past 2 times that they've been on screen, like we know that Dude Love can turn it all the way up to a million. I don't think that either one of them have been around someone in a long time that is ready to get as weird as quickly as the two of them are.
They played off each other very well.
This week he's got his acoustic guitar. Ryan Von Rocket does, and he's playing "Landslide" by Fleetwood Mac, or the Smashing Pumpkins, or the Dixie Chicks, whichever version you prefer.
I'm going classic.
Yeah, I thought you might go Smashing Pumpkins.
It's a good cover. No, it's Fleetwood Mac or nothing for me on this one. Sorry, no offense.
Understandable. Brian Hines is sipping on a black lager. The same thing I am.
Yeah, we decided that it's been a rough day. We're going to split a beer, have some quesadillas, and do the Cliff's Notes of the OVW podcast episode 1328.
Do you mind if I see your note?
Oh, sure, of course.
Thank you. I can hold that if you need me to.
There we go.
All right, so non-title matchup next. AJZ, Dalton McKenzie with Shannon the Dude. Obviously, it's the Revolution. Shannon the Dude there. They're writing the checks. He's going to be there.
Of course.
Versus Beaches and Cream, the OVW heavyweight, or OVW tag team champions.
That's right.
What was up with AJZ's hot pants?
Those were the shortiest of short shorts.
I
Those are
loved
the
it.
daisiest of Daisy Dukes.
They were.
Yeah, they made him like a He-Man figure.
They made me want to stop and slow down like a sexy lady showing a little bit of skin on the side of the road when she's...
Like when he came to the ring, was it slow-mo in your mind?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, shorty shorts.
Yeah, I passed him in the car and I put it in reverse and picked him up like in a cartoon.
At least it didn't jam on the brakes and hit your head on the steering wheel.
No, like there's some things in wrestling that are just like so inherently funny. We got another one of them later on in the night, and it's not like funny because like it's haha funny or it's like Adam Sandler funny. It's like only funny to other wrestling people. It's like only funny because of the world that we live in. And AJZ's booty shorts, his hoochie daddy shorts, were up there on some of the like peak wrestling funniness stuff that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was great. Outside of that, it was, I mean, Dalton McKenzie looked strong as ever. He, bigger than ever, more ready to get in and, hit AJZ with his best shot, the standing suplex that went on for like a week and a half.
My goodness. And he just kind of, Dalton McKenzie, you've got the standing vertical suplex, and instead of slamming Luscious, he just walks through and lets Luscious fall. Like he was too bothered to do the full maneuver.
Knowing Dalton in real life, that's very much a Dalton thing to do.
I could see that. It's of no matter though, because we end the match in a no contest. Tony Evans and Jay De Niro come out with belts.
Like they're having a sale at Walmart or something.
Leather belts, actual real leather belts.
Yes.
And I think I said this earlier, but it's lost, so it's the first time I ever said it. Nothing in wrestling is fake. There are a few things that are less fake in wrestling, or more not fake in wrestling, than getting hit by a leather belt. Yeah. There's no two ways of getting hit by a leather belt. There's sweetness on some of this other stuff. You guys are fans, you know. There's sweetness. There's sleight of hand in some of this other stuff. Ain't no sleight of hand in a leather effing belt, guys.
No.
Luscious and Omar were getting destroyed by Tony Evans and Jay De Niro. We go to commercial break. They come back and they are on fire. They're
so pissed.
They are ready for Jay De Niro and Tony Evans right then, that moment, slamming chairs all over everywhere, scaring the referees. From a storyline perspective, a wrestling brain perspective, I'm really glad that they got another week off to kind of get their breath. You don't want to go against a fresh Tony Evans and Jay De Niro after you've just wrestled a match against AJZ and Dalton F. and McKenzie, and you definitely don't want a piece of the kit with welts growing on your back from a leather belt.
Absolutely not.
And there was nothing easy, like watching it live at Davis Arena and then having to rewatch it to cover it for this podcast. There was nothing easy about watching it. There is no, like I was saying, BSing leather belts.
Yeah,
period.
Exactly.
Period.
I just noticed in the chat that WWE fan guy 26 said that he would, if he was going to be an OVW, he would be Dark Warrior and come out to Welcome to the Jungle. That's solid. I appreciate you remembering that. I feel like maybe we should save that.
Okay. Is this your Hines question of the day?
This was question of the day because I know exactly what I would do in this spot if I were to join OVW. I've got it all planned out. And it's really good. The cilantro really kind of ties the whole room together.
Oh, that's good.
But I like where your head's at. I like that you didn't forget this, but maybe we can table this discussion and we'll pick this up when everybody's able to be here together with us. And we'll just give you the Cliff's Notes of our podcast this week. And we'll go.
Oh, hey, Matthew.
Hey, what's up, Matthew? Glad to see you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known who you were under Kentucky Model Garage. I'm glad that you said.
Now that he said it, yeah, that makes sense because he sends me pictures of all the models that he's working on.
Yeah.
Very, very talented.
You're right. I should have put two and two together. He's excited. Yeah, Ryan, WWE fan guy. I agree. I didn't that I wanted Jake Lawless and Adam Revolver. What am I saying? Jake Lawless and Ryan Von Rocket as a tag team. Give us more of that. Give us
Amen.
more. I think Jake Lawless, obviously, one of the greatest utility players in OVW.
Mm-hmm.
You can make him a star. You can make him a tag guy. It doesn't matter. You can do a little bit of everything. I loved his ability to meet Ryan Von Rocket on his level.
Yes.
The coordination with the glitter.
That was wonderful.
Not
Glitter
o-
baptism.
Not only that, they really had something in the ring together. They really had a lot of chemistry.
They did.
The story of the match obviously was that Los Desafios had more chemistry, and that Lawless and Ron Rock, they were so close to getting on the same page, but not quite there. That was kind of the story of the match. I think we did find ourselves, Ryan, to your point. I think we found ourselves a new tag team. An OVW fan zone, Jason. Yeah, we do just need to have more Jake Lawless.
I agree on both counts. This was the tag team that I didn't know I needed, but now that I've seen it, I need more.
So the championship match tomorrow is who's the championship match?
We'll have to go with the other
Well,
notes.
sorry, Matthew. Predictions.
Ooh, Ryan Von Rocket and Jake Lawless is Jay De Niro and Superior Tony Evans versus
Suave and so.
yes.
But there's a champions. There's for Matthew's asking us about the championship match tomorrow. But I don't see a thing. Matthew, who's the match from? And we'll give you some predictions. Sorry, we're running. This ain't the normal show, guys.
Yeah, we not more often than not we
Mount
make a lot
Kadeem
of this
versus
up on the
Jesse.
fly.
Mount Kadeem versus Jesse. Thank
Oh,
you.
is that it?
Thank you, Jason.
Oh wow.
Oh
Okay.
man, what a match! Guys, that's a hard.
I'm not going to do the stupid voice.
You know, I got a wild hair to choose Jesse Goddard's. I think he's after last week not getting the $20,000 that he was in the process of winning. I think he's going to be fired up, and I think honestly, it's time to change some of the stuff at the top of the Revolution. Not necessarily Doug, because I think he's kind of on fire right now. But I am looking at Mount Kadeem and I am looking at J-Rod as things that I think are on the chopping block or think going to be tinkered with or changed within the near future. So we'll see. Matthew, we know how you feel, buddy. We know how you feel about Icon Lee.
I hear you.
WD Fan Guy, though, probably has it right on. He says Mount Kadeem because of shenanigans. I think he's been around OVW. He's seen them all come and go. I think he
Senior
probably
producer
knows.
Victor Anderson in the chat.
Oh,
good evening,
hey,
sir.
Victor.
We're out here doing the Lord's work best we can. Like we said earlier, the show must go on. It's not going to be pretty and polished, but it is going to be live and in the moment. So bear with us, and we'll just enjoy our time together as it is for what it is.
And for your comment, senior producer Victor Anderson, J-Rod, he's saying J-Rod is staying on top. She is until Tough Love, where Sophia Rose will take that championship right from around East.
There you go.
Let's kind of go back to the episode here as much as we can.
All right, we're gonna have to share notes.
I know. Okay, here's our notes.
All right. So
This
we
is
made
just
it to
like high
Beaches and
school.
Cream. Yeah.
You did the notes, and I'm copying off of them.
Let me copy off you.
You didn't want to copy off me in high school.
That's right. You
They're
want to
gonna be
copy off me.
They're gonna be the same as the person on the other side, and then we're all three gonna get in trouble. Trust me, it happened.
So the next match is Anthony Toatelli versus Ashton Adonis. Like we mentioned before, Anthony Toatelli made some time for us yesterday, and we
know that works.
We know that works. We know that file has been saved. It will be ready to come out tomorrow at 5 a.m.
5 a.m. on all of our broadcast. What am I saying? Audio
at 5.
and then noon for video on YouTube.
Yes.
So if you're heading on work, there's something for you in the morning. If you're on lunch, there's something for you in the afternoon, whichever one you best.
Yes. This was a good, strong showing from Anthony Toatelli.
And from Ashton Adonis. I think
Yeah.
that these guys had amazing chemistry together.
I'm trying to put in words where I feel like this is in my head in relation to all the things that I loved about wrestling growing up.
Okay.
Who is this match or this potential feud between these two going to kind of remind me of? I'll think about that.
Steamboat Macho?
Damn! You pulled that right out of my head. Get out of my head. That was the just thought.
It was the combination of chemistry, first off, kind of fighting from underneath, babyface Anthony Totelli, kind of arrogant heel Ashton Adonis, and then just the work and the chemistry was all there. In the comparison to Steamboat and Macho Man.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right, because that was literally the first thing that popped into my head, and then you said that, and that's just weird.
That's called we've been doing this for almost 100 episodes.
I'm not gonna. We share a brain, but sometimes we share a brain.
Earlier today, yesterday, when we're out on the line and me and you look at each other in the room and have both realized the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
And didn't even have to really say it out loud what we had just realized.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta. Actually, guys, I'm glad that the board went out. This is the last episode of the. I can't spend any more time with this guy. I can't do it.
Yeah, it is what.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Serious question though.
Yeah.
Are these the only 2 quesadillas we made?
Yes.
Because I don't see this, but one of us clearly ate their half.
Yeah,
and the other one hasn't.
I've been
So
talking.
how about I go throw in another round?
Yeah,
and you
I
keep
can,
this ball
I
going.
can talk for a little bit.
All
That's
right,
fine.
cool.
Yeah.
I need to shed one of these shirts because we were running short. And I wore a Freya shirt for the podcast, and then just this other shirt, which ironically is Japanese for hit the air. And then the things that hit the things that help us hit the air hit the brick. So I'm going to go ahead and take this shirt off and possibly burn it because it appears as though maybe it is cursed or something. But before I leave, Victor Anderson, Icon Lee is the next Rush champion.
Icon Lee needs it back.
Who knows? Maybe you're right, but maybe you're not.
So, let's see. Hey guys, now it's just me and you. How are you doing? Good. Glad to hear that. Golly, this really has been a heck of a day, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Anthony Totelli, though, I do want to say that interview was really, really great. Look for that in the morning. I think that guy is a straight killer. Over the last handful of months, we've been really fortunate to see a bunch of great talent, but there's a handful of people on the men's side of things that stick out for me as just like walking through the door and every single thing that you could ask for a wrestler to have. The first time I saw Vincia, I turned to Tiny Brian, our producer, and I said, that's the best wrestler I've ever seen live. Like, at least this close, at least like at a show the size of OVW. I said very quickly, Jamin Vincia is the best wrestler I've ever seen. I was proven that that's not a bad guess, really. I was proven that that's not a bad conjecture. Anthony Totelli is right up there as far as guys that walked straight into Ohio Valley Wrestling and just had a presence, just brought something unique to the table. We're just so fully formed. Really, really, really looking forward to what he has in store. A little behind the peak here, we placed a picture of ourselves with Anthony Totelli on our Instagram. The first comments was Ashton Adonis kind of giving us the rolling sarcasm eye, right? Whatever you call rolling your eyes. I think that, first off, good work, Ashton Adonis. I love you bringing the rivalry from television into the real world. Love that. Second off, I'm really hoping that means that we haven't seen the last of Ashton Adonis and Anthony Totelli. When I say that these guys had chemistry out the wazoo, I mean it. It would be a shame, and God's honest shame, for us to only have one up between these guys. I really, really, really hope Ashton Adonis and Anthony Totelli. I hope we just see more of them together in the ring, because that's the good stuff right there.
I completely agree.
As I'm kind of surging through my notes here, gosh, man, this has been about 6, about 5, about 3. Okay, finally found it. My main event of hour 1 here is the $20,000 Body Slam Challenge. Last week, Katie Gannon, Doug Basham, Mount Kadeem came out and said, for anybody that can slam Mount Kadeem, I'm going to give you 10 grand. Icon Lee comes out, Big Zo comes out, Eric Surge comes out, and then Jesse Goddard comes out. at the end of last week's segment, Jesse Goddard says, screw 10 grand, 10 grand of my own money down on this, because I'm going to be the guy that slams Mount Kadim. I'm going to sweeten this pot. And so we fast forward to a week. He's coming out. Mount Kadim comes out. We see Icon Lee. Doesn't cut it. We see Big Zoe. He makes a little more progress than Icon Lee. That's not saying much. We see Eric Surge, who makes the most progress yet. And then we see Jesse Goddard. As Jesse is poised to slam Mount Kadim, he gets docked by Doug Basham. Gets knocked right out. Basically stealing his $10,000. Stealing $10,000 from Jesse Goddard, keeping his own $10,000. That's, I guess, how we end up at Goddard versus Kadim this week. Definitely did not see that coming. Should have known if you've got several members of the Revolution in the ring at the same time that they're going to end up cheating. But I honestly took Eric Surge just because I thought it would have been interesting to see the rising babyface Eric Surge take home that $20,000 right out from underneath Jesse Goddard's and see a little bit of maybe a match between Jesse Goddard and Eric Surge. After the hour-long performance in the Rumble from this past year for Eric Surge, after him coming out and being on the offensive end of all of the baby faces this year, I want to see him up against every single one of the biggest stars in Ohio Valley Wrestling, because you're telling me I'm supposed to be paying attention to this guy. Put him up against bigger and bigger stars, right? One of his first matches after the Rumble was Cash Flow. That's one of your biggest stars. Jesse Goddard is right up there too. I guess it makes more sense just purely from a booking perspective to have Jesse Goddard chase the Revolution rather than chase some random guy.
And as he pointed out last week, he was the first national heavyweight champion.
Yes, he
was.
So
I'm sure that he doesn't like what's going on, and I'm sure he wants that title back.
Well, and it's so funny too, because he was the first national heavyweight champion most of the time in that run, working with a group not too dissimilar to the Revolution. But I guess it's a lot easier to take advantage of bad things when they work out, right? It's a lot easier to be offended by them when they hurt you.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
First match of the second hour, KT Dunn, a guy that we know very well.
Yes.
A guy that everybody in OVW knows very, very well. A fantastic guy. A guy with good energy, guy with a big smile, guy that just seems very helpful and very nice.
Yeah, I was very glad to see him finally get some screen time. I loved what he brought to the table. I love the energy. I love the positivity.
I love the big cardboard stand-up.
I love the big cardboard stand-up. If you happen to have one of those laying around, maybe have your people call our people.
How's $40 sound?
Maybe we could work something out. I don't know. We'll just have to see.
35.
I don't think that's help.
25. Okay.
Hopefully we'll have a 7-foot life-size statue of KT Dunn by, I don't know if you can see it, but our corner is graced by the patron saint of the OVW podcast. That is Lord Alfred Hayes.
I do think it's interesting while we're talking about KT Dunn. He's a guy that we've known backstage, or not backstage, out on the floor really for so long. We're talking about all of the positive sides of him, and then his kind of heel character capitalizes on all of that
all that goodwill.
That goodwill, yeah. Much like in the vein of Kurt Angle in the very early Kurt Angle run, where he's a heel that doesn't know that he's a heel because he's just too squeaky clean and too good and works out too hard and too well, and that's not likable. That's really not that's something that most people aspire to be, strangely enough.
Yeah. Spurts here and there over the course of my life where I thought, you know what, I'm going to eat a little bit better. I'm going to work out a little bit more. Currently, after a day like today, not so much. But I can totally appreciate the sentiment and the appearance by KT Dunn. Unfortunately,
Simon Dean's a good call too, Ryan.
He is the next opponent for Mr. Cashflow on his way back into contention for OVW Gold.
Matt, don't want him to chop the stand. I don't want Cashflow to chop our stand in, our cardboard stand.
No.
That's
that
off
would be
limits.
bad.
That's off limits.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I anybody up until Cash is in contention for one of these belts is just going to be lined up to lose.
Yep.
And there's no shame in losing to Cash Flow, man. He's the
No.
biggest guy that you got.
Leader of the locker room.
Off the heels of wrestlers and Netflix, off of Tulsa King, like me and you were just talking about earlier, like Tulsa King, for what it's worth, is going to be able to be on television and streaming for as long as it wants to be. Paramount is not going to come down and tell Tulsa King, oh, you're not doing another season. Sylvester alone will tell Paramount, I'm actually kind of bored. So, like, this is an amazing opportunity for Cash Flow. And such a, like, off the back of making a star of himself on Netflix, or wrestlers on Netflix, making a star for himself on Tulsa King, and now coming here, like, what more could you ask for? If you're Cash Flow, you have to feel like you're living a pretty charmed life now.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Much deserved. We're so happy for you, Cash Flow. Congratulations, Mr. C, as I've affectionately come to know you, personally speaking. Was not, with all that being said, it was not KT Dunn's night. And Cash marches on his quest to regain some gold.
Yeah. So another, I guess, kind of big thing that happens throughout the course of this evening is, I mean, Dustin Jackson's on fire right now. 4 out of 5 pins over Doug Basham. The only pin that Doug Basham has is not even a pin. It's a fall. It's a count out.
Yeah, and 2 of those wins, he was unconscious.
Essentially unconscious.
Incapacitated.
Running on pure
Adrenaline.
and
Muscle memory.
Yes. There we go.
See?
Love it. Love it. Love it.
I know. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
There's nobody else on the roster right now that deserves a national heavyweight championship shot more than Dustin Jackson. And he realized it, rightfully so. He comes to the ring. He announces it. He says, Doug Basham, fight me for that championship at Love. Doug Basham says,
Yeah, maybe I will, maybe I won't. You know, you can't make me do nothing. You're not my dad.
But then Al Snow says,
yeah, this is going to happen.
yeah, you're fighting Dustin Jackson for that national heavyweight championship at Tough Love. This really, as a fan of Dustin Jackson, puts me in a tough spot. A really tough spot. I don't see any way that he wins that. I just don't. And that really pains me to say, because both in and out of the ring, Dustin deserves the run he's going on right now.
Yeah.
Dustin is an amazing kid. Sky's the limit for him in a lot of ways. And it's been great not only to see his, like, professional wrestling prowess grow and grow and grow, but he's falling into this character and he's finding this voice so efficiently and so well, and so quickly, really, that it pains me to say that in my wrestling mind, I don't think he's going to beat Doug Basham. Matthew, can I see Dustin in NXT? Yes.
Yeah.
Dustin's the right age. WWE is going to treat its up-and-coming talent or potential next superstar. Dustin Jackson's got the look. He's got a great pedigree. Been taught by some of the best people in the business, people that NXT takes in very high regard.
Yes.
And I think would do well on that product, especially they are looking at guys with independent wrestling experience.
Very much so.
You know, as opposed to 5 years ago, 6 years ago, they're just looking for ex-football players and stuff, bikini models. You know, now they're still looking for that, as they should.
Oh, yeah.
But now they are making a definite eye, trying to take out of really AEW's book in keeping a hold on some of this indie talent that could become the next big thing, as opposed to just trying to pluck the next big thing out of Geary. I think Dustin Jackson would be great in NXT, to answer your question.
Yeah. But probably will not. He thinks that he will not win. Chances are probably not great. I mean, if you're fighting a battle against the Revolution, it's not going to be one-on-one.
That's the thing. In all of these matchups with Doug Basham, it seems like the Revolution hasn't been taking Dustin Jackson very seriously. They haven't been there really to pull any of their old tricks. They were there for a quick beatdown 2 Thursdays ago. But in that best 2 out of 3 falls match, you know, like in the real world, the only person he had out there was Shannon the Dude. When you
Yeah.
got shooters on the bench in the Revolution, and the only person you're bringing out is Shannon the Dude, that to me tells me that for the past 2 weeks they haven't been taking Justin Jackson seriously at all, and
No.
he has forced them to take him seriously,
And rightly so. He totally should.
up to including a title shot at a pay-per-view.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. I do love when Doug calls Dustin Jackson DJ Brony. That's what that stands for. That always gets me.
Yeah.
Dustin though did get the line of the night in the promo though, when he said, "You're just an old rusty machine."
Yeah.
Not the best line of all night though. Not the best line of all night. That was J-Rod.
Yeah.
So up next is a match between Ryan Von Rocket and Jake Lawless versus Los Desafios. That's Hoda Pesos and Maximo Suave. Ryan, we were talking earlier, WWE fan guy, we were talking in this chat. What do you think of Ryan Von Rocket and Jake Lawless?
I need a name, and they need to take this act on the road. This
agree.
was the
I
team that I
agree.
didn't know I needed, but now I've seen them. I need to see more.
This is, to borrow a reference of yours, this is like if they didn't have the two guys that you wanted at Walmart, and you just had to get two random guys,
Yeah.
and then you realize like tag team together and they become your favorite toys.
Yeah.
You know, that's what this felt like a little bit. Or it felt like, you know, Poison versus like Creed. Like,
Can you take me lower?
or like, what was that one band? Oh, you're crazy bitch. Buck Cherry. Yeah, that's Jake
Yeah.
Lawless. Jake Lawless. Buck Cherry versus Poison. No, I agree. I think that they're great. I think that they need a name. I think we should take this show on the road, baby. The chemistry was absolutely insane. Unfortunately, though, like the chemistry of Maximo and Hoda is the best in the tag team division.
Yeah.
For anyone not named Omar Amir and Luscious Lawrence.
More well-seasoned, spicier.
Amazing.
Yeah. Speaking of, I want to go check on those quesadillas.
Yeah, for sure.
I just made one, and if we want another one, we can make some more.
I actually had a Happy Meal for lunch today.
I'm not going to make the same joke I heard earlier when you heard that.
I'm gonna make I got a Happy Meal for lunch, and I usually don't eat on show days, but I did happen to eat today, and I'm gonna enjoy these later tonight before I go home. I think we've probably said this before, but I'll say it here since it's a little bit different of a crowd. One of our very first interviews was with Amazing Maria, and she brought Max on, and Maximo like took us all, like we all fell in love with Maximo immediately. And one of the first things that he said to us, this is a year and a half ago, guys, man, they're gonna put me together. At that time, that's how long ago it was. His name was still Manny. Man, they're gonna put me and Manny together. And they've been talking about it. Those two guys have wanted it. Have been wanted it for a long time. They finally got it. I love seeing it. I love Los Desafios. We need to really start packing out the men's tag division, and because you just have some hot teams right now. Of course, Luscious and Omar. But if we're Desafios and we're gonna make Rocket and Lawless a tag team, let's just see who we can put together. Jesse and Adam Revolver, love that as a tag team. A lot of good tag team action coming up, going on right now. And there's usually a tag team tournament in OVW at some point during the year. I don't know when it is, but it seems like the iron's getting pretty hot. We might need to be about to strike on some of this stuff, on some of these tag teams. That's just my 2 cents. As we mentioned, like AJZ's pants were very funny. His short shorts were very funny. Doug Basham calling DJ a dumb jabroni is very, very funny. Nothing is funnier, and I'm gonna say it because we're on YouTube now and not on whatever, and it's the unofficial show. Nothing has made me laugh this year at all, or last year really. No, I'm kidding. Nothing has made me laugh this year as much as J-Rod saying, Hollywood, all you do is talk about me and your house. Well, fuck your family and fuck your house. I was like, oh my God. I loved that so much.
I did not expect that from her. I seriously, but
It was so funny.
that was hilarious.
It was so good. And like it was badass and intense and cool too. But like I think it was the unexpectedness of it. And again, like back to that conversation we were having earlier. There's things that are funny in a wrestling context that you could never explain why this is so great and so funny to a non-wrestling fan. And J-Rod dropping double F-bombs on Hollywood Hey. F your family and F your house is amazing. So good. I loved it. Thought it was hilarious. Thought it was hilarious. So we also have the Love Shack this evening. This is we might be wrong about this, but I think the Love Shack this is the second time ever there's been a Love Shack. First time in OVW.
That was the discussion during our original recording of the podcast. Yes.
So I have that right, or something close to it.
that is what we are led to believe.
So the Love Shack, of course, is an old school talking segment. Something that we haven't really gotten a lot in OVW since Reverend Ronnie. Come to think of it, he used to have a talking segment much akin to this. Can you think of a talking segment since we've been covering like an in the ring, like regular all the time,
Like a Piper's Pit?
like a Piper's Pit?
No,
Yeah.
no, I can't recall that. No.
I'm sure that, and if there's one that I'm missing, I'm sure there is one that I'm missing. But Ronnie used to have one pretty regularly, and he would like pass around the collections plate. Like, it was good stuff.
That's a great,
really good stuff. But we see Dude Love's version of the Piper's Pit, Dude Love's version of the talk show, the Heartbreak Hotel. That was Shawn Michaels, right? What his was called.
Not the barbershop.
Not the barbershop. That was where the newest rocker, Marty Jannetty, got kicked through. That's the best t-shirt I own, by the way.
Yeah, I love that shirt.
That's like the greatest merch in wrestling. Probably the NWO shirt or the Stone Cold Steve Austin 316 shirt. Is the Cal Hero Al Snow and Marty Jannetty new rocker shirt.
Yeah,
the newest rocker.
It's like Marty Jannetty. Like, what year was that?
Clearly Marty Jannetty in like AWA in 1986.
Yeah.
and Cal Hero in modern day and Al in modern day, but like clearly like AWA 86 Jannetty. I love Marty Jannetty. I'm a Shawn Michaels guy. He was like one of my first favorite wrestlers. I didn't get into wrestling until I was a little later. And, you know, you just hear so much about Shawn Michaels. I fall in love with Shawn Michaels, and you're like, oh, he's in this tag team, and the other guy sucked. And I'm like, yeah, good. Thank God they got rid of that other guy. And then I started watching Rockers effing matches and realized I was the idiot, that I was the mark, and I was getting worked. Marty Jannetty rules. 2 cents. Put that on a t-shirt. Basically, throughout the Love Shack, though, we see Sophia Love and Katie Gannon make up.
Yes.
We see Jack Gunn attack the character of Cal Hero, Dude Love, Katie Gannon, and Sophia Rose.
And Dude Love succinctly diagnosing what is wrong with Jack Vaughn. It is an awful case of butthurt.
Jealousy.
Yeah.
Jealousy.
That's right. Hey, Joe.
Love is bitter.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So next week we have Jill Vinci also shows up randomly, right? Like that should have been a bigger deal. Jamin and Cal should have had, for me personally, Jamin and Cal had a standalone segment, and Jamin and Cal weren't like the point of this segment. And for me, that's like all I've been waiting all winter for, all fall and winter
talked
for,
about that quite
is
a bit.
Jamin Olsia and Cal to come back and fight Cal Hero. Instead, what I got, which I'm fine with, is an intergender tag match with Katie Gannon and Jack Vaughn versus Cal Hero and Sophia Love, with Dude Love special guest referee.
That's fantastic.
I was wishy-washy until he was the special guest referee, because he sprinkled Mick Dust on whatever, and I'm there for it.
Yeah. That was a Fleetwood Mac album, right? Mick Dust?
Mick Dust? No, that was what wrote all the Fleetwood Mac albums.
Ah, I see. Well, you know what they say, the landslide brought it down, right?
Yeah, that's what they were doing whenever those songs got written. Was the Fleetwood Dust. What do you think of intergender tag matches?
They can be really good.
They can be very hard to pace.
They can be very hard to pace. I have the utmost respect for all parties involved. I know that the duder is going to call it down the line fair and square. That's the kind of guy he is.
Is this the first special guest referee that we've had in OVW that will call it straight?
It wasn't EC3.
Wasn't EC3?
Who else?
Hollyhood, Tiffany.
Yeah, that was none of that.
None of the. Yeah, so it seems like Dude Love might be our best bet here.
Yeah. Help us, Dude Love Kenobi. You're our only hope.
Yeah, so I am looking forward to that. For me, intergender tags are kind of like, but you know, I'm also like the kind of person that loves intergender wrestling. Like, I don't like to see dudes beat the tar out of girls and vice versa. But like, if it's a wrestling match and you know we're just exchanging holds and you know stuff like, some of those are really good. Orange Cassidy versus Kylie Ray from the Indies like 6 years ago is like one of my favorite matches of all time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a great match.
My intergender champion obviously would be the maybe late Andy Kaufman.
All right, he is probably the most popular intergender wrestling champion of all time.
Yeah,
Or most notable.
He's from Hollywood. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah.
I saw the videos. The videos.
He said so himself.
So last match of the evening here, main event of the evening, we have a championship match for the women's
Do you want some of this?
championship. No, I still got mine. Thank you.
Okay. But they're cold now. Do you want me to warm them up?
No, I'm gonna throw them in a plastic bag and heat them up when I get to the apartment.
Good thought.
In a lot of ways for me, and I think that we'll find out more about this tomorrow. In a lot of ways, this did feel as if it was a little bit of a farewell card from Hollyhood, or maybe a see you when I see you card from Hollyhood.
It certainly did, and everybody in this arena really not only wanted but expected Hollyhood Haley J to come out on top. They needed to see her win back the gold for Team OVW.
She is in so ways OVW. I would have said the same thing before Wrestlers on Netflix. I think that the two people that came out being kind of like the heart and soul of that place after that documentary were Cash and Hollyhood. Maybe Hollyhood less heart and soul, but just very like, just came out looking like a star, right? She came out looking like a star.
She was the mouth.
She was the mouth, yeah, and Cash was the heart and soul.
Mm-hmm.
She, in a lot of ways, the crowd connection that she has in Ohio Valley Wrestling at Davis Arena, promoters have looked for 100 years trying to unlock the secret of what she has in Ohio Valley Wrestling. People have worked their entire life to have half as much charisma as Haley does on a bad day. Like, Haley is a one of a kind performer, one of a kind wrestler, one person in a lot of ways. She can make you feel very, very special, very, very quickly, very, very easily. And that's like something that you would not expect from her, because she, I think, does kind of want to come off like she's tough and like she's a badass. But like, there is something so genuine and so special inside of her, and I think that that's part of the thing that people at OVW like about her. I think that she's gonna say or do whatever she wants. I think that's something that people like about her, and that they've gotten to see her grow up from going from Little Lawrence's valet to being Hollyhood Haley F and J, right? And so whenever you look at all of those circumstances and at how much she left on the mat last Thursday night, for me, it kind of didn't feel as it was anything other than a so long farewell. She will be addressing the crowd tomorrow evening, Thursday evening, OVW Rise. I don't know anything. Sometimes I do know stuff, and when I do, I just say I don't know anything. The only time I say I don't know anything is when I'm being serious. I don't know F and S right now.
I know even less because during this match I was at the merch booth talking to Miss Becky about Sesame Street.
But for me, the wrestling fan inside of me and just reading the room, this felt like a little bit type thing. I'm sure that we'll have more context for that after Rise tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I've really got to hand it to Haley J. I've been watching.
Hey, speaking of Miss Becky, there she is.
Oh, hey Becky. I've been watching Haley for 6 years, I guess. Be 6 this year, 5 years this year. A long time. Been fortunate to watch Haley for a long time. And I've been able to watch her grow the same way people at OVW have been able to watch her grow. And I kind of just couldn't. Do you remember when Joe left?
Yes, I do.
I kind of could not shake that same feeling that I had the night Joe Mack left.
Yeah, that was a sad evening with a very heartfelt goodbye for some of his very, very close friends in the audience, and I was able to see part of that because I happened to be outside at the time, and just because I knew he was coming in and I knew he was leaving, and I just kind of wanted to be outside in case something out of the ordinary happened. I was able to catch the exchange between those two, and it was really heartfelt, and you knew that this was going to be the last time we would see Joe Mack for a while, and I definitely got the vibe last Thursday in that regard.
And
so
I wouldn't even draw the parallel if it wasn't such a distinct feeling, like that I really had only ever felt in that one other moment. And I don't know anything, but I have a feeling that that Thursday night, tomorrow night's OVW Rise, we might be saying goodbye to Haley for a little bit. I feel like it's in the air. I feel like it's in the air.
you could very well be right,
And I would love to be wrong.
I would love for you to be wrong. I would love to be wrong right there with you, but we won't know until we get to tomorrow, and maybe that's a good spot to end our first unofficial podcast.
Well, I think I've got a better one.
Oh, okay.
For the first unofficial podcast.
All right.
You got a cheers for me, brother?
I've got what's left of a cheers in the other room.
Go get it. I'm gonna sit here. Becky, thanks for finally joining us. What took you to the end of the episode, Becky? Come on. No, seriously, thanks to everyone that joined us tonight. Ryan, Matthew, Becky, anybody else that sees this, thank you guys so much. We'll have to do this again real soon. Hopefully it's not under as stressful of circumstances as
under
tonight.
duress as it is.
But we had a blast hanging out with you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we will see you soon. Love ya.
Take care.